The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has asked officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army not to be afraid of the International Criminal Court for carrying out their legitimate duties as stated in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are the top 10 stories now. At number 10, at least 25 police stations and outposts were burned by hoodlums and 5 others vandalized in Lagos during the violence that trailed the EndSARS protest last week. The number comprises 14 divisions, 3 commands and 3 barracks. About 40 police officers were injured and yet to be ascertained number killed. Police sources said police authorities were still collating the number of casualties they recorded and that of stations burnt, including arrests made and stolen items recovered. It was gathered that in most of the stations, many of the detained suspects, including hardened criminals, were released while arms and ammunition were carted away. At number 9, human rights lawyer Femi Falana says the Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond has commenced an investigation into the shooting of protesters at the Lekki toll gate last Tuesday. Falana, who is the chairman of the group, said so far, the barracks where the soldiers who opened fire on protesters were deployed from have been identified. He disclosed this on Monday in an interview with Arise TV, but however did not reveal the details of the barracks. Falana said, the president was likely to have been told soldiers were ordered, so I want to believe that's why it was not addressed. He said it was a rumor, but I think the facts are emerging now, that indeed soldiers went to Lekki, indeed they fired at protesters, and indeed some of the protesters, at least 2, have been officially acknowledged to have died from gunshot wounds. The senior advocate of Nigeria also faulted the federal government for lacking respect for the rule of law and citizens' rights to protest. At number 8, troops of Operation Fireball have neutralized Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists, killing 16 in recent encounters in the northeast. In a statement on Sunday, the acting director, Defense Media Operations, Bernard Onyeko, said the operation was a subsidiary operation launched under Operation Lafia Dole to root out remnants of terrorists. Onyeko said that 4 terrorist gun trucks were destroyed and a large cache of arms and ammunition were recovered during the various encounters. He disclosed that the troops had on October 21st noticed unusual vehicles tailing the convoy of vehicles conveying IDPs from Maiduguri to Baga town in order to infiltrate their position. According to him, the troops inflicted heavy casualties on them by killing 3 terrorists and destroying 1 gun truck, adding that 1 anti-aircraft gun, 3 AK-47 rifles, 3 shells for making improvised explosive device were also captured, adding that the troops had since dominated the area with aggressive patrols. At number 7, 7 stowaways suspected to be Nigerians seeking UK asylum have been arrested by British Special Boat Service after they tried to hijack a crude oil tanker. According to BBC report, the stowaways illegally boarded the Liberian-registered Nave Andromeda in Lagos. British forces were reported to have descended on the vessel by rope from 4 Royal Navy helicopters after nightfall to end the 10-hour standoff. Narrating how the event unfolded, BBC said the ship left Lagos on October 5th and was heading to Foley Oil Refinery near Southampton. As it approached its destination, just east of the Isle of Wight on Sunday morning, it was reported that 7 stowaways on board had become violent. At number 6, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, says it will cost not less than 1 trillion naira to rebuild Lagos State, following last week's massive destruction of public assets. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, revealed the estimated cost during his visit to the governor at the Government House in Marina on Sunday. Among other public assets destroyed are 89 new buses of the Bus Rapid Transport burnt down in Oyingbo and Bega, where they were parked. According to the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho, each of the buses cost about $200,000. The multi-million naira Forensic and DNA Center, the Igbo Shere High Court, local government secretariat buildings, and hundreds of vehicles, other public buildings across the state, street lights among others, are affected. Gbajabiamila also visited the Oba of Lagos, Rilwanu Akiolu, whose palace was razed and looted, as well as Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the national leader of the All Progressives Congress. At number 5, suspected hoodlums resumed looting of warehouses where COVID-19 palliatives were believed to have been kept on Monday, despite warnings and rebukes from the government. It was gathered that youths looted some warehouses in Gwagwalada, a satellite town in the Federal Capital Territory. During the raid, hundreds of youths, men, women, and some children defied security operatives as they reportedly carted away cartons of cereals, bales of clothes, bags of rice and millet, and other commodities. According to reports, 4 persons, including 2 middle-aged women, slumped in a stampede on Monday as hoodlums invaded the warehouse to cut away palliatives. At number 4, following Governor Ben Ayade's order for search of looted items, the security operatives in Calabar, Cross River State, began a house-to-house search for the looted items on Monday. Recall that between Friday and Saturday last week, hoodlums and looters broke into over 35 government and private properties, looted several items and set some buildings ablaze. An eyewitness in Calabar revealed that the search began in Calabar South local government area of the state, and the security operatives were seen in 2 truckloads searching for looted items. Military patrols, searches and roadblocks were said to be in place in parts of Cross River Highway, 8 Miles, Marian, Akpabio, Odupani and other areas in the state. At number 3, the Nigerian Governors Forum has denied allegations that governors hoarded palliatives meant for distribution to Nigerians during the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. This was contained in a statement titled Governors and the Car COVID Palliatives, released on Monday and signed by the head Media and Public Affairs of the NGF, Abdul Razak Bello Bakindo. According to the forum, governors have held several meetings since the EndSARS protest and have since set up judicial panels of inquiry to look into such cases. The NGF declared that no state has been involved in or has ordered any palliatives. It also assured all contributors to the palliatives that prior to the looting of these warehouses, states had kept full account of all the items received and distributed. However, the governors did not explain why the palliatives meant for citizens were stored in warehouses since April. At number 2, the National Broadcasting Commission has sanctioned and fined Channels Television, AIT and Arise TV 3 million naira each over their unprofessional coverage of the EndSARS protest across the nation and the crisis that followed. This was announced on Monday by the Acting Director General of the NBC, Armstrong Idachaba, at a press conference in Abuja. The stations were accused of airing unverified images of the alleged shooting at the Lekki tollgate. Finally, at number 1, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has asked officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army not to be afraid of the International Criminal Court for carrying out their legitimate duties as stated in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Chief of Army Staff said this at a meeting with principal staff officers and top army commanders on the security situation in the country on Monday in Abuja. The rally was held against the backdrop of the violence and destruction of properties in parts of the country. The Nigerian Army claimed the EndSARS protest was a grand design by sponsors of the protest to draw the country into crisis and then embark on massive propaganda to discredit the military and the government. Buratai also mentioned that agitators had continually threatened to report the army to the International Criminal Court and also threatened all forms of sanction against its personnel and their families. He said despite this, none of the PSOs, GOCs, field commanders and other officials of the Nigerian Army should be afraid of the ICC for carrying out their legitimate duties as stated in the 1999 Constitution as amended, adding that any act of arson or attempt to kill or maim any military or security personnel and other law-abiding civilians must be responded to quickly and decisively. Always remember to wear your mask, wash your hands and stay safe. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.